Bonjour. I've begun with a drink a bit late, but doesn't matter. Last week we missed out because of Easter, and of course it was a Friday. It was only Friday, so I didn't do the lesson. This is now we're going to Les Femmes Parlent Trop, and also we'll be doing some Spanish. So we'll see how we go today. So yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay. What have I done the last week? Because I've got 5 minutes before I start the class. I'm a couple of minutes late, but what I really need now is that contact with people who want to speak French, les étudiants qui vont parler français, parce que moi-même j'ai besoin de la pratique. I have need of practice, and the best way to do it is, of course, with people. And I thought maybe there are people there at the University of the Third Age where they teach French and other languages. And yes, this week, last week I contacted them. Well, they contacted me actually because of my sister, and I'll be very happy to start a class there in the next few weeks, maybe in May. It's going to be organised, etc. But it'll be a lovely idea to actually practice this place with some of the students, and also do other activities for French. Now, of course, Spanish is the one that I'm learning at the moment, here online with you. What do I remember? The days of the week, the months of the year, the seasons. It's very hard to actually remember them if you don't do them on a regular basis. Lunes, martes, mercredi, etc. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, set, etc. So you need to revise. So do I worry about the fact that I can't remember them straight away? No, because I know that in time, with consistency, you'll get there. And that's what's happening to me now when I do the Italian songs, songs in general. I use them I use the lyrics for classes, for what I'm doing here online as well. And I noticed, after almost a year now, the words sort of are coming out automatically. When you hear the song, bang. But not all the words, always something missing. And that's the problem. The revision, the practice, the continual practice is important when you're doing a second language. So that's why it's called a second language, because we use the primary language all the time. And unless you have contact with people who speak the second language, you sort of, whatever you know goes in the background, in the brain. What a wonderful tool, our brain. So it's 11:30. Okay, let me start. Les Femmes Parlent Trop, scène 9. We've done, scène 8. Because we did last time, we did Blanche, Georges, and Claire. That was his sister or sister-in-law, the daughter, his niece, and he was very pleased to see them, but they had to go because the daughter wanted to go to the cinema. Okay, so now the next one is scène 8. Georges regarde le téléphone, va décrocher le récepteur, puis retourne à son bureau, prend un indicateur de chemin de fer dans le tiroir et le consulte. Georges traîne pour Mané. 20h15. C'est bien. Il remet l'indicateur dans le tiroir et commence à arranger ses papiers en sifflotant. Coup de sonnette. C'est probablement Pierre. Il va à la porte et l'ouvre. Okay. That's a very short, very short scene, because obviously here he's getting too many interruptions and he probably misses his wife. So he says, if I maybe, I'm not sure yet, we'll discover it as we go along. Okay, let's go. Here we go. George regarde le téléphone. So George looks at the telephone, va décrocher le récepteur, he takes the receiver up. So in other words, you remember that Claire put it back and says, I don't want to be disturbed. Okay? So that's it. Then he returns to his desk, prend un indicateur de chemin, de fer. He gets a railway timetable. You know, he wants to go somewhere, obviously, in his drawer, and consults it. Elle le consulte. George, train pour Money. So, train for money. 20h15. 20 hours and 15 minutes. C'est bien, it's good, he says. He puts l'indicateur dans le tiroir, he puts his railway timetable in his drawer, et commence à ranger ses papiers, and he begins to rearrange his papers en sifflotant. Sifflotant. Maybe singing or moving around. I have to check up with sifflotant. And that's what happens to me as well. If there's a word that you don't know, just underline it. Coup de sonnette. Knock on the door. Or rather, the bell rings. Sonnette. It's probably Pierre. He goes to the door and opens it. So that's it for this scene. Very brief. You're just moving from one to the other. So we'll see. So, indicateur de chemin de fer, train timetable. There you are. The French often indicate that's the time of day to avoid ambiguity. So 8:15 p.m. It's, you know, when it said, oh, I see. Oh, he goes 20h, 10, no, train for money. 8:15, okay. I didn't say 20 hours. The train trip, I thought it was the train trip that was 20 hours. Instead here, it's only the hour when the train leaves for money. Okay. We'll do scene 9, of course. That was too short. All right, scene 9. Let me read it first, and then we'll come back. Here we go. Bonjour Pierre, tu as mis longtemps à venir. Je t'attendais impatiemment. Pierre lui serrant la main. J'ai été retenu à la faculté. Mais ça fait plaisir de te voir, s'avançant. Georges, laisse-moi prendre ton chapeau et ton sac de voyage et les mettre dans ta chambre. Il sort à gauche. Oh, dans ta chambre. So, he's got a visitor, obviously. Pierre soucié. Georges n'a pas très bonne mine. Hein? Il est maigre, mais il a l'air heureux. Il s'assied à gauche, Georges entre. Tout va bien, Georges. Les écrivains continuent à gagner leur vie. Georges. Oui, il ne souffre pas trop. Pierre, non, mon ami, j'ai quelque chose à t'avouer. That's a good one. O-U-E-R. Is it O-U and then or is it U-R? So, t'avouer. Eh bien, Georges, c'est que puisque tu m'as dit au téléphone que tu serais à la faculté pendant ton séjour et qu'il y aurait des jours où peut-être nous nous verrions même pas, je ne t'ai pas dit que je partais ce soir pour m'aller rejoindre ma femme. Good one. Bien, je suis content d'apprendre cela. Georges, ne t'en fais pas pour moi. Je serai très bien à l'hôtel. Georges, pas du tout. C'est ce que j'allais te dire. Tu auras ta chambre ici où tu viendras quand tu voudras. Considère-toi ici comme chez toi. Pierre, oh, très bien, j'accepte. Tu seras longtemps à Manille. Georges, oh non, nous y passerons peut-être une semaine et ensuite nous irons à Genève. Manon attend d'affaire à surveiller un mari et une maison que je veux lui donner de vraies vacances. Tu m'excuseras, Pierre. Il sort à droite. Pierre, certainement, pensif. Georges est le meilleur des hommes. Il gâte toujours Manon. Moi, je devrais aussi tâcher de faire quelque chose de gentil pour Lucie. Georges entre avec 2 verres sur un plateau. Rien de fort pour moi, s'il te plaît, Georges. Georges, non, je m'en souviens. C'est de la citronnade. Manon l'a fait avant de partir. Pierre se levant et prenant son verre. Manon, c'est un ange. Alors on boit à sa santé. Il lève le verre à Manon. À Manon. À rideau. That's beautiful. That's the end of the play, actually. It's a beautiful little play. I'll use this one. And then we'll start another one next week, of course. Okay, let's have a look now. Let's have a look at what we're going to do now with this scene 9. Here we go. Have a look. Oh, beautiful. Bit of water before we start. There we go. Bonjour, Pierre. Okay, George says, bonjour, Pierre. Good morning, because he was to the door. Tu as mis longtemps à venir. You've taken too long. Tu as mis longtemps à venir. Je t'attendais impatiemment. I was waiting for you. That's an imperfect tense. Tu as mis longtemps. Tu as mis longtemps à venir. You've taken, so that's a perfect tense. Okay, Pierre lui serrant la main, shaking his hand. J'ai été retenu à la faculté, the F is missing there, mais ça fait plaisir de te voir, s'avançant. I was retained at the faculty. In other words, he's obviously another professor or doctor. Faculté, here we are, there's a little note, here, the College of Medicine. Faculté refers to the college itself and not, as does its English derivative, to the body of instructors. Okay, so faculté is actually the building. All right. Whereas in English we think faculty means all the teaching staff. Okay. Mais lui, c'est normalement, je étais revenu à la faculté. Mais ça fait plaisir de toi. But it's very pleasing for me to see you again. And going forward, coming in other words. Georges, laissez-moi prendre ton chapeau et ton sac de voyage. So let me take your hat and your valise, your sac de voyage, bag for traveling. In other words, it could be other. Well, it could be his handbag. I think that would be, he's had to take some things from the faculté, but who knows? Et les mettre dans la chambre, and he says, I'll bring them to my room. Il sort à gauche, and he goes out to the left. Now Pierre is left on his own, soucieux, attentive, soucieux, attentive, what else? Another word, thinking, in a nice manner. Georges n'a pas très bonne mine, or concerned. Soucieux would be concerned. George doesn't look too good. Huh? He doesn't look well. is thin, he lost weight. Mais il a l'air heureux, but he seems to be happy. Il s'assied à gauche. He sits on the left. George comes back in. All right, George. Les écrivains continuent à gagner leur vie. Hein? And Pierre says, the writers continue to earn their keep. Obviously, this guy is a writer as well. George, oui, il ne souffre pas. No, he's not suffering. Pierre, mon ami, Pierre, my friend, j'ai quelque chose à t'avouer. And George says, I have to confess something to you. I've got to tell you something. Eh bien, well, George, c'est que it's that since you told me on the telephone that you would be at the School of Medicine for your holiday or for your time there. So he's obviously doing a course of some sort. Et qu'il aurait des jours ou peut-être, and that you would have some days where perhaps we could not see each other. Je ne t'ai pas dit, I haven't told you that I was leaving this evening for Mane to join again with my wife. So he didn't know, he just made up his mind. Forget about all the commitments he took on. Bien, je suis content. Yes, I'm very happy to learn that. George, ne t'en fais pas pour moi. Don't worry about me. Je serai très bien à l'hôtel. I'll be happy to stay in the hotel. George, pas du tout. C'est ce que j'allais. That's what I was going to tell you. You will have my room here, where you can come and go as you please. Consider yourself here as if it's your own home. It's a good friend, obviously. Oh, Pierre accepts immediately. Doesn't have to pay. J'accepte too, and of course, George worries about his house, so he's got somebody there to look after it. It's a good thing if you trust the other person. Très bien. Tu seras longtemps. Will you be long? Will you be long at Monet? At Manet? Georges. Oh non, nous y passerons peut-être une semaine. I will be there perhaps for a week. Passerons. Et ensuite, and then we shall go to Geneva, in Switzerland, in other words. Manon a tant à faire. Manon has got so much to do looking after her husband and the house that I want to give her a real holiday. You will excuse me, Pierre. Il sort à droite, so he goes out on the right. Pierre said, certainly, on the right, not going back to his room. Certainly, Pierre says, thinking, Georges est le meilleur des hommes. Oh, George is the best of men. Il gâteau is a cake, so he spoils his wife. He always spoils his Manon. He spoils his wife. Always. Me, I should do the same with Lucy. George comes in with 2 glasses on a tray. Sur un plateau. Rien de fort pour moi. Nothing strong for me, if you don't mind, George. George, no, I remembered. C'est de la this is some citron. Like a sweet drink, La citronnade. Well, sweet drink. Manon made it before leaving. Pierre se levant, Pierre getting up and taking his glass. Manon s'est un ange. Manon, she's an angel. Then, on boit à sa santé. Let's drink to her health. Ils s'élèvent les verres. They raise the glasses. À Manon, à Manon. A rideau is the curtain. Bang. So we've done it. We've done Les Femmes Parlent Trop. Not bad. What did you notice there? You noticed that I had problems with remembering the word lemonade, citronade. And I had another little problem, soufflant. You know, those are words that you don't use every day. I can't remember. I haven't done French for a long time. But as you can see, I know my French, except your memory plays tricks on you. And therefore, that's what you need to remember, that when you're learning a language or when you have a second language, to the need to continually use it. Because if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's a problem, a real problem, all the time with languages as a whole. And as you grow older, it's not that there's the added problem that your memory sort of, depending where you are with your sharpness of mind, sometimes plays tricks on you. You forget your keys, you forget to go somewhere, you forget what people what you've said, etc., etc. So when you're learning a language, all these problems that are to do with the third age also come to play. So you're going to be extra patient with yourself. So that's it. How about revising now the days of the week and the months of the year? Let's do it together. Lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, dimanche. What about the months of the year? Janvier, février, mars, avril, mai, juin, juillet, septembre, octobre, novembre, décembre. What about the seasons? L'été, l'automne, l'hiver, le printemps. So in summer would be en été, en automne, en hiver, au printemps. We are at the moment here in the southern hemisphere on autumn. And in the northern hemisphere, they are au printemps. The numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And then it keeps going. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, etc., etc. So that's, Ida Colangelo is on. J'enseigne le français, mais je n'ai pas de pratique avec les français. Alors, je fais ce que je veux réapprendre de nouveau. And, I'll go back to English now. So it's 11:50. I've just finished Les Femmes Parlent Trop, which is a play, which is available from me. And then I thought I will do we'll do a bit of revision of the numbers and the days of the week in French. And in the play, I had to remember 9 and 8 as a number. So from the French now, we're going to do the Spanish. Now, the Spanish itself, if I remember correctly, I'm trying to look for a song, because that gives me the practice. Aquí mando yo. Aquí mando yo. Yeah? And this is from Giulio Cinquetti. This is E qui comando io. Estas tareas que me hacer, querida Rosina, estas tareas que me hacer, querida Rosina, las debes pagar. Y aquí mando yo, y esta es mi casa, cada día quiero saber, y aquí mando yo, y esta es mi casa, cada día quiero saber quién viene y quién va. Debes pagarlas con sangre y dolor, hasta que salga la luna, debes pagarlas con sangre y dolor, hasta que la luna cambie de color. Y aquí mando yo, esta es mi casa, cada día quiero saber, y aquí mando yo, y esta es mi casa, cada día quiero saber quién viene y quién va. Cuando a la luna le cambian los colores, ven que es la hora, es la hora. Cuando a la luna le cambian los colores, ven que es la hora de hacer el amor. Y aquí mando yo, y esta es mi casa, cada día quiero saber, y aquí mando yo, y esta es mi casa, cada día quiero saber quién viene y quién va. Y aquí mando yo, y esta es mi casa, cada día quiero saber, y aquí mando yo, y esta es mi casa, cada día quiero saber quién viene y quién va. Well, that was the Spanish. Of course, you know, I didn't have the words in front of me, I wouldn't be able to sing. There it is there. Aquí mando yo. And if you get, you know, the Italian singers, they also sing in Spanish, but they don't always respect the words that, you know, as they are there. They have to adjust. But I don't have to. I've got the lyrics, so I do them as they are. And you learn here. Estas, e qui comando io. Estas tareas que me hacer. E qui comando io. E questa è casa mia, e qui comando io, e questa è casa mia. Cara Rosina, querida Rosina, cara Rosina, cara Ida, querida Ida, cara Gabriela, whatever, estas tareas que me hacer. E qui comando io, e questa è casa mia, e qui comando io, questa è casa mia. Cara Rosina, le devi pagar, I don't know, I can't remember now. Anyway, we're going to leave it there because I want to do some Spanish phrases. And also, I wanted to talk about El Cid. This is El Cid in Spanish. This is one of the books that, here, preface. I'm going to read it to you. All right? Rodrigo Díaz de Vivar, El Cid, is the national hero of Spain. He is also the hero of the oldest Spanish literary treasure, El Cantar de Mio Cid. El Cid has captured the imagination of readers for centuries and has given rise to books, plays and movies. This volume recreates the flavour of the great epic poem for the intermediate Spanish classroom, written in simple modern Spanish prose. Chapters are short, manageable, and followed by concise content, questions to ensure students' comprehension. Each passage is thoroughly annotated. Students will not be thrown by historical or literary allusions. To make reading easier still, difficult vocabulary has been glossed in the margins and then recollected in an end glossary. Students will enjoy El Cid as they will enjoy the other literary adaptations that these people produce. Now, this one here, the introduction, the content. Okay, El Rey destierra al Cid de Castilla, el préstamo de Raquel y Vidas, la despedida, la toma de Castellón, la derrota de los príncipes moros de Valencia, batalla contra el conde de Barcelona. And that was the first chapter. How many chapters are there? There are only 3 chapters. I'll read them all. El Cid conquista Valencia. Se junta la familia del Cid. La batalla contra Yusuf. Alfonso perdona el Cid. Se celebran las bodas. La afrenta de Corpus. El episodio del León. Batalla contra Bucar. Los infantes regresan a Corrión. Los infantes azotan a sus esposas. Las cortes, las 3 demandas del Cid. So there you are. And then there's the introduction, which I will read. And then eventually we'll get to the first, well, before the introduction, I'll just read a little bit of this El Cid. It's for intermediate Spanish. As an adult, you should be able to handle this. El Rey Alfonso de Castilla y León peleaba contra los moros. Rodrigo Díaz de Vivar no luchaba con su rey porque Alfonso le mandó a cobrar parías en Córdoba y Sevilla. El conde García Ordóñez y otros cristianos instigaron luchas entre los moros de Sevilla y Granada. Rodrigo entró en batalla contra los de Granada, quienes huyeron. Ali Rodrigo mesó la barba de García Ordóñez, por lo que había instigado. I'm going to stop there. Alfonso VI, 1031 to 1109, was king of Castile and Leon. The Moors invaded Spain in 711. That's when Muhammad came to being, and were finally expelled in 1492. So the Moors were in Spain for something like 8 centuries. The legend tells that Rodrigo, the last Visigothic king of Spain, took advantage of La Cava, the beautiful daughter of Count Julian. The Count was governor of a Spanish colony in North Africa. To avenge his honor, Julian made a pact with the chieftain of the Moors, Tariq, to help him invade Spain. The Count Garcia Ordóñez was the arch-enemy of El Cid. He caused Rodriguez exile. Garcia Ordóñez was a favorite of Alfonso VI, etc., etc. So I'm going to read this and do this, do this because I think doing literature is a good thing for adults. So that's, for Spanish, I'm going to go right into it, missing out on the beginning because I believe truly that I'll be able to manage this somehow. And as you can see, I can't remember the days of the week, the months of the year, or the seasons in Spanish, but I can read because I can read other languages. In other words, you can read, if you can learn English, you can read the Spanish too. No? You don't believe me? Well, try it. Just do it aloud. Okay. Let's do now, just before I go. Here we go. Just before I go, we're going to do the months and the seasons, okay? Enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre. And the days of the week are lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. The months of the seasons are la primavera, el verano, el otoño, el invierno. And finally, the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I'm going to stop there because it's 12:01. started a little bit late, so it's fair enough. And I just want to thank you to Ida for coming on, and anyone else who comes on during the week. This is the other lesson. I think I'm not going to say the number. We'll continue next week when I'll be more prepared. But today's been important because I've started the reading of El Cid, a very hard portion of Spanish, intermediate almost, straight into the middle area of the language. Okay, on that note, au revoir, adios, à la semaine prochaine. Bye from Tom Padula, here TomPadulaTV on YouTube, and of course Insenia Booksellers. And I do have these books available. Thank you very much. Au revoir. Sorry, what am I doing? Pressing the wrong button.